women, including P185. Most of these women were victims of gang rapes. The rapes were carried out at the victims' homes, in the street, or in common courtyards, and for the most part were committed in the neighborhoods of Mamifete and Sikobois. A victim of rape of Dioula ethnic origin states in the affidavit 0022-024 that militias came to her neighborhood and said, and I quote the victim, "All women must endure the war because our brothers are rebels and they contributed to Gbagbo's arrest." The victim went on to say, "Then they raped me. There were 3 of them." End of quote. The Human Rights Watch at page 644 also reports at least 3 rapes in Yupougon, in addition to the execution of the husband of one of the women. This report states that the perpetrators of the rapes were armed with Kalashnikovs, machetes and knives. Some of them were wearing military garbs, others were in civilian attire. As illustrated in the crimes described above, the pro-Gbagbo elements committed these murders, these rapes, these inhumane acts or tentative or attempted murders by targeting people from the north of Côte d'Ivoire and from neighboring West African countries. P109 summarizes the situation well in paragraphs 128 to 155 that the persons targeted on the 12th of April were northerners. They were Malians, they were Ghanaians, they were people from Burkina Faso and Malinkes who were all perceived to be rebels. Madam President, Your Honours, when we consider the high number of victims, 80 victims on the day of the 12th of April alone, and the extent of the crimes throughout a number of neighborhoods of Yupougon, it is obvious that the crimes were committed by pro-Gbagbo elements in a coordinated manner in application of Gbagbo's policy. The modus operandi is based on a well-known and well-rehearsed model by way of identity checks at illegal roadblocks, the systematic hunt for persons perceived to be pro-Ouattara supporters in their houses, and the practice of burning people alive, as described by my colleague Gilles Dutertre in his presentation on the widespread and systematic nature of the attacks. By way of conclusion, the prosecution submits that there are substantial grounds to believe that on the 12th of April 2011, the pro-Gbagbo elements committed the crimes of murder, rape and inhumane acts or attempted murder in the commune of Yopougon in Abidjan. The criminal responsibility of Mr. Gbagbo for the crimes committed in Yopougon shall be explained in further detail by my colleague Reinhold Gallmetzer in his presentation on the modes of liability, and I thank you for your attention. I shall now leave Mr. Eric MacDonald to address the court. Judge Fernandez, I do apologize, but I do believe that we have reached the end of our session today. Mr. MacDonald. Yes, if you just allow me 2 minutes. I know that we are reaching the end of our session today, but I just wanted to say, Madam President, that the presentation of my colleague, Mr. Gallmetzer, will take approximately 70 minutes, which means that, unfortunately, we won't be respecting the allocated time frame. We will be going over by approximately 10 minutes or so, but I think that, of course, ideally speaking, were we to have started his presentation now and continued for about 10 minutes, he could have finished tomorrow. But of course, I think it probably will be better to start fresh and bush-eyed and tomorrow morning in order for us to be able to bring together what we have presented over the last few days. But I'd like to apologise to the Chamber and to the defence, because this might sort of slow down their presentation somewhat.
Judge Fernandez, indeed, we have lost a few moments here or there, but I rather doubt there would be any problem if we were to agree to begin tomorrow. Mr. Altit, no problem. Judge Fernandez, thank you. I'd like to thank everyone, and today's hearing is now concluded. We shall resume tomorrow at 2:30.
Depuis 2 semaines, les effets d'annonce des décisions et des menaces contre le président ivoirien élu, Laurent Gbagbo, n'ont pas produit les réactions escomptées au sein de la population qui semble être indifférente à leur cause. Après plusieurs rencontres avec leur état-major civil, Alassane Ouattara et Guillaume Soro décident de créer une grande manifestation les jeudis 16 et vendredi 17 décembre.
1. Le jeudi 16 décembre 2010, le gouvernement, au grand complet, se rendra dans les locaux de la RTI pour y installer le nouveau directeur général, M. Brou, à Cap-Pascal. 2. Le vendredi 17 décembre 2010, afin de faire face aux préoccupations des Ivoiriens et surtout pour abréger les souffrances des populations, le gouvernement au grand complet tiendra le conseil de gouvernement dans les locaux de la primature, ici au plateau.
Le ministre Patrick Hachi, porte-parole du groupement politique, donne les contours et la nature de la manifestation devant la presse internationale.
Le Premier ministre a adressé, comme je vous l'ai dit, des courriers en tant que ministre de la Défense aux forces de défense et de sécurité qui assurent donc la coordination des marches, comme d'habitude, a adressé également un courrier aux forces de l'ONUCI. Vous savez que le mandat de l'ONUCI, c'est de sécuriser et de protéger les civils. Je crois que c'est là le lieu d'insister encore là-dessus. Un courrier leur a été adressé et je n'ai aucun doute qu'ils assureront la sécurité des civils et des citoyens qui participeront à cette marche pacifique. Je rappelle encore une fois de plus qu'il s'agit d'une marche pacifique, de citoyens, de civils.
Une fois la presse renvoyée, d'autres consignes qui ressemblent plutôt à un assaut militaire sont données à la branche armée, la rébellion des forces nouvelles.
Soldats, militaires, je vais à la radio-télévision ivoirienne pour installer le nouveau directeur général de cette télévision parce que le président de la République me l'a demandé.